Tyler, I am so fascinated by what is happening here with McCarthy's pursuit of the speakership. I mean, we know what is standing in his way. It is members of the so-called Freedom Caucus who want a series of concessions from McCarthy. I wonder, though, with the news that we are watching for this week, right, the possibility that there are going to be members of Congress who are sent for ethics referrals, like how that then plays out specifically for McCarthy, given that where he has found his strength is among moderate members who are more likely to want to turn the page on this chapter.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be interesting to watch how McCarthy responds to this. He's obviously been highly critical of the January 6th committee. And so when and if they do make him one of the members of Congress, they refer to the ethics committee, how he handles that and what sort of message he puts forward. I think, as you said, there are a lot of moderate Republicans who want to move away from the focus on January 6th, as Lauren said in the previous segment. The focus on democracy and on January 6th, that was a winning message for Democrats in the midterms and not so much for Republicans. So how he discusses that, how he backs Trump in what is going to be inevitable criticism from him, I think is going to be really important for him in both locking down the moderate wing, which he seemingly already has done, but also dealing with the Freedom Caucus and their demands that he move the party further to the right and give them more concessions as he builds out his leadership team and his focus moving in to the next year and what the agenda looks like for House Republicans.
It's also telling to me, Tyler, that in as much as there are other names that are floating around, there doesn't seem to be any other name that has emerged as something even approximating a consensus candidate, right? It sort of speaks to the current state of the GOP that it is more fringe members whose names are popping up.
And that's one of the things that reassures McCarthy and his allies is there's not a credible, at this point, alternative to him to lead the party. And I think there is some worry that the chaos that will inevitably play out on the House floor or the days leading up to the vote on the House floor will still lead to McCarthy likely being the next Speaker of the House. I think Democrats are salivating over the prospect of the attention being focused on Republican infighting and McCarthy having to make more concessions to the Freedom Caucus and what that means for Democrats in their messaging as they try to build contrast with the Republicans and head into 2024 with a message of, look, we were able to govern with united government. The infighting and the chaos that we might see because of a divided House builds a message that Democrats are excited to make a contrast with and buoy Biden as he prepares to announce a re-election campaign next year.
Right. Because, I mean, Lauren, there's infighting that happens behind closed doors, and then people like you and Tyler report on it, and then we sit here and we talk about it. It is another thing for all these folks to go to the House floor, for everyone to be watching as this unfolds. It also strikes me that one of the elements at play here is you have Trump, who's called McCarthy, quote, my Kevin. Now backing McCarthy for Speaker, Trump told Breitbart, quote, hopefully he's going to be very strong and going to be very good. And he's going to do what everybody wants. So I am really curious if you have a sense, based on your reporting, Lauren, of what it would mean for Kevin McCarthy in the eyes of Donald Trump to be very strong, to be very good, and to do what everybody wants.
Look, I'm not going to presume to know what Donald Trump's definition of that is. But look, I think that this comment from Trump really exposes weaknesses both of Trump and also McCarthy. For McCarthy, it shows that, you know, he needed Trump's endorsement, or he felt that he needed Trump's endorsement to sort of tie up support among his own party. He didn't have enough votes, or so far he does not have enough votes to confidently feel like, you know, he can win this. For Trump, on the other hand, you know, his comments really haven't seemed to move the needle yet. And I think that that is really telling. It shows that Trump's grip on the Republican Party and his influence on the Republican Party has been waning over the past few years. And I think that we're really seeing that a pretty clear example playing out right now on Capitol Hill.